The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual guests.
What is going on, my Ghost Squad? Welcome to the Armed Citizen Podcast Live. This is episode number 348. For the record, today's date is Tuesday, July 9th, 2024. We are live on YouTube, as always, streaming to over 150 countries worldwide. We're also streaming over on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter, to about 4 people. So welcome to everyone out there. We don't know that you're out there, so might as well go ahead and say something if you're out there in the live chat. Like I said, we don't know that you're out there. You might as well say something. Say something. Let us know how ugly we are, how terrible this show is, and tell us to go eat a stick. So I said stick. I said stick. Eat a stick. Eat a stick for all you out there. So yeah. If you want to text into the show, yes, you can text into the show. Utilize the Ghost Tactical Hotline presented by our good friends over at Wilder Tactical. That number is 530-364-4678. That hotline is open. So feel free if you want to text in your questions or comments, and we'll see what happens. If you're a veteran, really anybody, but especially if you're a veteran and you're in that hole, you're in the darkness, and you're looking for that light, call me, text me, email me 24/7. I cannot give you medical advice, but I did stay to Holiday Inn Express one night, so I might be able to walk you through some stuff, and more importantly, it'd be an ear for you just to listen. If you are looking to get towards some medical attention, remember 2 things. 1, you are not alone in this fight. You have a lot of brothers out here that are willing and able to help you in any way possible. And 2, the world is a much better place with you in it. So please utilize the Veteran Crisis Hotline, 1-800-273-8255. Once again, 1-800-273-8255. Veterans, press the number 1. We are spotlighting, as always, United States Marine Corps. If you have any questions on what it takes to earn the title of United States Marine, see the website marines.com. And as always, we're proud members of the Self-Defense Radio Network and the Firearms Radio Network. Go check out all your favorite pro-gun, pro-toy podcasts over at selfdefenseradio.net and firearmsradio.net. Let's take this off of my ugly mug and say hello to the merry band of morons for the week. We've got, oh God, go ahead and do your weird thing. You can't even fist each other correctly. Yes, I said that. Yes, I did. You'd think that with as much practice if you guys had, you guys would fist properly. I'm just saying. Yeah. Oh my God. Y'all are killing me. If you're listening to this in podcast form, you cannot see what's going on the stream. So we do invite you to come join the live stream every Tuesday night over on our YouTube channel. You get to see the weirdness that happens. And it's fun. We got a great crew, great audience out there, great conversation. So we do invite you to come join us live every Tuesday at 7 Central, 8 Eastern on the YouTube channel. Anyways, from Anderson Manufacturing, we have the man, the myth, the legend. What's up, Kyle?
Hey, what's up, Trey? Thanks for having me on, man.
Always, brother. How you guys doing, Anderson? Do you have a good Independence Day and 4th of July weekend?
Yeah, Independence Day was awesome. Like I was telling you at the beginning of the chat, it kind of throws my schedule off a little bit because I am nocturnal by nature for some reason. So I can stay up in the wee hours of the night and all that fun stuff. So trying to get back on schedule, but the Reds are up 5-0, top of the 3rd. I think it's a good day.
Yeah. Let me go double check and update that real quick.
While you're checking on that, another cool thing.
It's in a rain delay. That's why it's been in the top of the 3rd for so long. It's in a rain delay, but we are still at 5-0. So
yeah, we are catching the remnants of that storm that hit Clover, and I'm sure you probably got hit too.
So we have several trees down the golf course. Our rain gauge stops at 8 inches, and it was max full, so we got at least 8 inches. But that was like early, so we probably still got somewhere between 8 and 10 inches.
That's a lot for how dry it's been this summer, man.
Yeah, and that's probably why we have a couple trees down. Is it was so dry, and then all of that rain at once just kind of saturated the roots, and I think that's why they fell. So we didn't have much wind, so I think it was more of the rain than anything.
Yeah, but other than that, man, we've been working on getting logistics and all that fun stuff squared away for goals. Getting set up, ready to roll out. Had an awesome conversation today. You'll like this one, Ghost. With, gosh, I'm going to butcher this. Here, let me check this real quick. Sorry here. Oh, Lord.
This awkward silence brought to you by
Kyle Wade. Texas Valor Project.
Okay, yeah. I've heard. I don't know much, but I've heard of it. That's all I know.
So they help guys, Marines, Army, Air Force veterans, any veteran out there that's had TBI, traumatic brain injury, to get recovery. They've got some pretty impressive results, and right now we're in talks on any way that we can support those guys. And looks like I
just put the link out there in the chat, so anyone's interested, go check that out.
Yeah, definitely check them out, man. It's got a soft spot in my heart.
Absolutely.
And I know it gets you too, Go. So
it does.
John's a ginger, so nothing really phases him. So
he's not real. I mean, gingers aren't real.
What if this whole time Ginger's been a figment of our imagination, dude?
I think he's AI, man.
Oh my gosh.
What if he's AI?
Can confirm.
Yeah, only AI would confirm that. So asking a cop, are you a cop? Are you AI, John? Are you AI?
You have to tell me it's a law.
Can confirm.
Can confirm. There you go. Speaking of which, standing on the corner in Winslow, Arizona, such a fine sight to see. It's a Ginger, my lord, and a flatbed Ford. This will come up in a later poll question. That song might possibly. From the Gunners of America and Fully Loaded Reviews, we have John the Ginger Soulless Bastard. What's up, man?
What's up? It's 118 today. It's hot.
Bro, so like the storm, the hurricane that we got the remnants of the storm, today was 71 degrees.
I wish it was 71 degrees.
So like this time last Tuesday was 103, and a week later it's 71. Now it's going to be back up in the mid 90s by Friday, but we got 8 inches of rain at least, and it was 71 degrees today. So for July, I'll take it.
You keep saying 8 inches, and I keep thinking that's what she said. But
that's what she said.
This is
not my wife, but someone's wife saying that, not mine. I'm always lucky to get 3.5.
You got all 8 inches. There you go. No, it's
hey, dude, bro. I've been 2 inches from glory my whole life, man.
I was. It's so hot here. I put a pork roast out to like the thaw outside for a little bit. And by the time I got back to it, like 3 hours later, it was like slightly starting to cook. So,
it's like medium rare already.
Yeah. So it's getting hot. As we're supposed to get some relief next week. It's supposed to go down to 101, which is fantastic. I guess you can say that. But
cool breeze.
Oh yeah.
What's going on at GOA? You got anything for 2A Tuesday?
Goals is going on. That is what's going on. My focus has been solely on goals for the last.
You don't know what's going on in the real world right now, do you?
Yeah. I've been filling up the convention center. We moved some booths around to make some more room for some tables and chairs for people to eat at, and did some stuff. But we're getting really close to being full with vendors. Look who just popped in.
Look at Rod and Shelly out there.
Just signed up. New signups. He just gun care. Signed up yesterday. Really excited to have them to come. They got their 10 by 10 booth yesterday. Super pumped to have them there at Goals. I'm super pumped to have Anderson there. We're getting Cellmark and all their companies signed on today. So that's a big sign on. Well, Bass Pro
Are they doing multiple booths or just doing one big one?
They're doing one 10x20 to start this year. So they're doing a decent sized booth for what they're doing. But Bass Pro called today.
That's good. That's a lot of companies to have in one little booth, though.
Hey, that's what they wanted. I would have given them more space. That's what they wanted.
I get it. You say Bass Pro?
Yeah, they called today. The local Bass Pro Shop called about going. So
that's interesting.
It's interesting. Yeah. And Sal will be there too. Special Operations Wounded Warrior Project.
Wounded Warrior. Sal. So.
No.
I thought
Sal will be there.
Sal Volcano from.
And then I think we mentioned last week Ed Brown's coming. Wilson Combat's coming. So super excited about that. We're pumped. We're getting pumped, and hopefully by the end of the week we got approval from the convention center. We'll have adding Daniel Defense and Unit Solutions. So yeah, actually Unit Solutions is going to be too far from you. We've got a spot saved for them, Kyle. So you're going to go over there and shoot some marker rounds and have some fun throughout the day.
You said they're close to our booth?
Yeah, they're not too far from you.
We're always right next to a simulator, dude. I swear. And then Chris, like every time it goes off,
y'all should get one of your rifles to be put in the simulator over there. So like everyone that goes to the simulator is shooting an Anderson.
Hey, if that's how that works,
I think
I'm definitely.
I don't know how that works.
I'll talk to them and see what I can do because I think everything is proprietary for them. Like it doesn't take. It's just small enough that it won't take an actual AR mag. It takes like their so that they can sell it as not a firearm.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm super excited about it. Really excited for the convention, and I just ordered another gun for review today for FLR.
Oh yeah.
So I'm getting the Smith & Wesson SD9 2.0 in for testing.
Ooh.
Good luck. Hope it doesn't.
We'll see if it's better than the old ones.
I mean, it can't get any worse, you know.
No, it can't. But and then I'm
honestly I'm interested to see that video because I'm actually interested, and I don't know why they did it, but naming that the SD9 2.0, I would have just named it something else because of all the backlash they got from the SD9. Why wouldn't they just name it something else? But
I'll tell you why.
What's up?
Redemption.
Maybe, and I hope to God they get it. I'm a Smith & Wesson fan. You know, I love the shit. I love the M&P 2.0 is a great gun. That SD9 was just a bad gun, and it happens. Every company's going to have a bad gun and a bad design. It's just going to happen. But typically, you don't see that company going back and doing a reboot of that bad gun. You know, they just name it something else. But hey, maybe it is redemption, and I hope it goes really well for them. You know.
Well, when I told the shop that I wanted to order one, he was like, "That gun's awful." I'm like, "No, I'm looking at the 2.0. The trigger's better. I'm gonna give it a try because I had the original SD9 VE. That trigger was awful. They put an M&P trigger in it. We'll see if it's better. See if it actually is.
I hope so.
The king of the budgets. We'll see.
I hope so. Yeah, I've got something that should be maybe tomorrow at the gun shop. I've got the new SAR SOCOM Compact that was released at NRAM. That's going to be coming in either tomorrow. I think maybe tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to getting my hands on that and messing with it. But yeah. Anything else with FLR or GOA you want to talk about?
Keep on fighting for. Go to goals. That's all I gotta say. Go to goals. Come to goals. Be at goals. Meet Kyle. Meet Ghost in person.
Meet Kyle, baby.
Something cool.
Thumb, hey, we're not doing. Hey, no one's thumbing me. Okay.
No.
Kyle might be into that shit. I'm not.
I talked to Sean.
He's into the weird fisting, though. You know.
Yeah. I talked to Sean today, so FRN is going to have a booth with dedicated time for everybody on the network to podcast from. We're going to get equipment for y'all to do it at the FRN booth. So That's really excited to get that all hooked up.
That's going to be sick. That's a good idea. That's going to be awesome.
Calico Jack says, Ghost, you have Firewatch at 2300. Just kidding, Simplify, brother. So here's the thing about the Firewatch, especially at boot. I was fortunate enough to be a squad leader for most of boot camp. I did not graduate because shit rolls downhill. It is what it is. But for I would say 75% of boot camp, I was a squad leader. And the great thing about being a squad leader is we got to choose with the guide, we got to choose the Firewatch times. And so we always made ourselves the last Firewatch. So we would be ready, dressed, and all that. And we knew people in our squad that needed, should I say, a little bit longer to get ready. So we got them up just a little bit early. And so it was great having, I'm a night owl. So it doesn't bother me waking up at whatever it was, 4 a.m. to do the last hour of Firewatch. But 2300, I don't want the first Firewatch. I want the last Firewatch. I don't know. Kyle, did you have a preference on Firewatch?
Well, I mean, I feel like that it's pretty universal. That last slot is like the golden.
It's the gold ticket. It's a golden ticket, baby.
Because you can get shaved up and ready to roll and whatever. But I don't know.
You can go and take a dump. Whatever time you need, you got it.
Yeah, you're on your time.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than the last hour, I would take anything.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. It's all the same shittiness right there. So
if I didn't have the last one, I would want one of like the last couple if I had a choice. Because at least I don't want something like in the middle because you don't get much sleep before and you don't get much sleep after. I guess the first Firewatch wouldn't be bad. You get that done for the hour and then you can sleep the rest of the time. But I'd rather go ahead and get my sleep over with and get up early.
I think that's the precedence right there is final Firewatch, first Firewatch, and then everything else in the middle sucks.
Absolutely. Wow. Okay. We got a £5 super chat from Skidmark. Says just to say hello, guys, from Scotland.
What
Be
up?
safe over there, Skidmark. Be safe over there.
Yes.
British Open's coming up here, and I got the Scottish Open this weekend, the British Open weekend after that. So be safe. Go watch some golf.
Watch out.
You guys know what's up?
I was just saying, watch out for that Loch Ness monster.
That Loch Ness monster, man. That thing will kind of get you if you're not careful.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys know that every Thursday, Saturday, and Monday at 10 a.m. over on the YouTube community tab, we have our pony polls. Brought to you by our good friends over Anderson Manufacturing. So go check them out. Let's take a look. We have some fun ones this week. The first one was put out yesterday. It's already got 1.4 thousand votes of these guys. Now, Ginger's probably never heard of any of these, but we'll see. Of these, which of these is the best American band? You got the Beach Boys, the Eagles, CCR, which is Creedence Clearwater Revival, for those that don't know, CCR, or Aerosmith. Beach Boys, Eagles, CCR, Aerosmith. Kyle, of those, which one's the best American band?
CCR. I don't know what it is about those guys, but they can get me like going. Like they get me patriotic, even though some of their songs aren't necessarily the most patriotic. But
they're okay. So yes and no.
Yeah,
depends on how you look at it. Like Fortunate Son's a patriotic song if you were not against. If you were against the war, if you were pro-American, anti-war, that's going to get you fired up. If you were pro-Vietnam War back then, that's probably not going to get you fired up. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's I think one of the most iconic songs in American history, to be honest with you.
I would have to agree. That could be fun sometime, just having a good old, hey, let's draft, top 25 songs of all time. No matter what genre, what era, like that could be a fun show sometime. We need to do that. Calico Jack says CCR. Ozzy says the Eagles. Rod out there, he just says the Eagles. Let's hear what you guys have to say. Ginger, Beach Boys, Eagles, CCR, Aerosmith.
Well, seeing that my Dissy's sitting right next to me, I'm going to have to go with CCR because the fortunate son is increasing.
It's true. It's true. My Dissy's right there. That pretty girl. Hey, pretty girl. For me, I mean, I love all of these. I don't love Aerosmith. I like early Aerosmith, and then I like that era in the early 90s, I guess. Aerosmith, it was like Crazy and all of that with all the Alicia Silverstone videos. That was a great album. Early Aerosmith. I was not a big fan of Aerosmith in the 80s. Not disliked them, just wasn't a huge fan. Of the four, they'd definitely be my fourth. I saw the Eagles. Literally, I got out of the Marine Corps, and they had started the Hell Freezes Over tour, so I got to see them. That was a really great concert. Obviously, never seen CCR because they broke up in a few years, and they don't even, like John and Fogerty and his brother don't even speak anymore, I don't think. But aside from Jimmy Buffett, the band that I've seen the most in my life, I think I've seen at least 12 or 13 times, is the Beach Boys. I'm a huge Beach Boy fan. Grew up listening to the Beach Boys with my dad. To this day, I love the Beach Boys. I think, like I said, I've seen them at least a dozen times, if not more. But I love the Beach Boys. So my vote is the Beach Boys. 1.4 thousand votes. 35% say the Eagles. 29% say CCR. 22% say Aerosmith, and only 14% say the Beach Boys. I get it. But I'm a big Beach Boy. I like all of these bands. I love the Eagles, love CCR. I like Aerosmith. I almost put Chicago in there. I want to kind of go old school. I might later on do like Guns N' Roses, Metallica, some of those rocker bands. That could be interesting pull. I kind of went like older school with this. Because for me, I know a lot of people think Aerosmith is a newer band, but they started in like the early 70s, mid 70s. So when I think Aerosmith, I think Dream On and all of those, and Sweet Emotions, like the 70s Aerosmith. That's what I think of, and all that. So, yeah. But Eagles win 35%. Interesting. Skidmark, another £2 super chat. Thank you, brother. He said the Beach Boys, Brian Wilson is God. So my favorite album of all time is Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd. What critics will tell you the greatest album of all time is Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band by the Beatles. They will also say that typically most critics will say that the second best album ever is the Beach Boys' Pet Sounds. I love both of those. I would say that, Zeppelin 3 or Zeppelin 4 have got to be in those top 5 albums of all time. And I'm not a huge Zeppelin fan, but I recognize greatness, when it's there. But Beach Boys and Pet Sounds has got to be a top 5 album of all time. And Brian Wilson is widely considered one of the greatest songwriters ever to live. Elton John said the greatest song ever written. The 2 greatest songs that are his favorite songs ever. One is Yesterday by the Beatles, actually written by Paul McCartney. But he says that his favorite song, and he thinks is the most perfect song ever written, this is Elton John saying this, is God Only Knows by the Beach Boys. And great song. Anyways, our next poll, kind of going off of the old 4th of July, long holiday. We're talking 4th of July cookouts, right? Cookouts, whether it's in the backyard, the park, whatever you got going on. 4th of July cookout. What's the best 4th of July cookout food? You got a burger, hot dog, or are you smoking some barbecue? Ginger, we're going to start with you. Burger, dogs, or barbecue?
This one's hard because they're all good.
They are all good, yeah.
It depends on what hot dogs. So if they're Nathan's, all beef hot dogs, that goes almost top of the list. Depending on your grill master with the burger, depends on how good the burger is.
That's fair.
I like barbecue. I go tons of guys who do really good barbecue. So it's really a toss up between barbecue and a really good Nathan's hot dog, because there are times where people don't cook burgers properly. I mean, we just watched one of the congressmen cook raw burgers. You know, let's just say. So
he was cheesing them up.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with a good Nathan's hot dogs. It's really hard to screw up a hot dog. Or even if you're from upper New York, Buffalo area, Slyman hot dogs, those are really good. But Nathan's hot dogs or good barbecue.
Okay, so you pick two. I'm asking you to pick one, bro. What's the best cookout food?
I'm going to go all beef hot dog. If it's all beef hot dog, then yeah.
Yeah. Kyle, burger, barbecue, or dogs?
All right. Without giving you TMI, this question is directed specifically at Independence Day.
Yes.
So I'm going to go burger only because barbecue makes me get extremely sleepy afterwards. And
that's fair.
For lack of better terms, gives me the bubble guts on occasion.
I get it.
You don't want to have all that going on when you're trying to light off fireworks and keep all your fingers and stuff.
I agree. I'm surprised that Ginger has burger at number 3. That's just it surprises me.
Well, he's a hot dog guy. I mean, there are hot dog guys out there.
You've had
hot dog guy already.
See, there's I've been to some cookouts where the guy doesn't know how to cook a burger. Like if you burn a hot dog, it's still good, but a hockey puck burger, yeah.
Well, I'm speaking from my own experience, and I will alpha dominate the grill if this guy doesn't know what he's doing.
Same.
I'll go up there and I'll pee right on that grill, dude. Wait.
I'm not sure I want to eat off that grill, but I understand the sentiment.
that escalated really quickly.
Yeah, that escalated very quickly. You stabbed a guy with a trident.
Where did Britt get a grenade?
Yeah, exactly. For me, it's definitely burger. I love burgers off a grill. Love it. My second choice would be hot dogs. I'm not a big barbecue person. When I think barbecue, for me, it's brisket, and that's good. But I don't trust everybody smoking a brisket. Like that's just the way you can mess up a brisket. I'm not a big rib guy because I don't like barbecue sauce, and ribs you almost have to have sauce with, right? Pulled pork is okay because you really don't have to have a whole lot of sauce with that either. I like barbecue, but I don't trust barbecue outside of a few people making it, if that makes sense. So burger for me, hot dogs. And for me, honestly, I put this out there, and as soon as I put it out there, I was like, should I have done that? Because for me, like if you're grilling burgers, most of the time you've got some dogs on the grill as well. So it's kind of burgers and dogs kind of go together with some baked beans and stuff like that. That's kind of like a traditional cookout is burgers, dogs, and baked beans and potato salad or whatever. But some people want the dogs and some people want burgers. They don't get both. I'm the guy that's going to get a burger and a dog. That's just me. And if they have barbecue, I'll get a little bit of barbecue. I'll get a little bit of whatever they got. So that's just me. Let's see here. Ozzy says, let's go to the top here. It says, Ron out there says burger. Calico Jack says barbecue. Skidmark barbecue for the win. Ozzy barbecue. Aegis, I work with a guy that referred to hot dogs as lips and asshole sticks. That's fair. I don't want to know what they're made of or how they're made. I just know that I like hot dogs. Matter of fact, I think my wife had some today.
I just want to know what bugger ribs are. Skidmark, can you?
Yeah,
can you know
booger ribs,
yeah.
booger ribs, burgers and steaks. So here's the thing. Obviously grilling steaks out, but who wants to spend that kind of money if you're having a big cookout on steaks, you know?
Now, another traditional 4th of July is chicken, and that's another one where somebody can cook it poorly.
Yeah, chicken. Okay, so I'm not saying you want a raw burger like Congressman Asshole did, but like I like an actual like I don't mind a little blood in a burger off a grill. I don't want it in a hockey puck. So I don't mind being a medium rare, burger off a grill. You got to get that chicken to 160 degrees minimum or someone could get really sick. So for me, growing up at least, I don't even offer it, but growing up, my dad always threw a few things of chicken breasts on there for someone that didn't like beef. So I just want chicken. So there's always a couple, but I don't think of chicken as a cookout food. I think that's a food that they cook out for people that aren't real people, don't like red meat. So just me.
We just found
I understand.
We just found out what booger ribs are.
As in forget about ribs, booger them and forget about them. Don't want them. There you go. Defense Dad says we did ribeyes, corn, and baked taters for the 4th. If it's just going to be a few people and all that, like a small crowd, absolutely. But if you're having a cookout, like when we had growing up, we had cookouts. There were like 30 people, 40, 50 people there. We weren't buying steaks for everybody. Now, if you want to bring my dad, I'll say, hey, if you want a steak, bring your steak, and I'll throw it on the grill for you. But he's not going to go buy everybody T-bones, So yeah. All right. 1.5 thousand votes. This was close. 46% say burger. Kind of surprising. 43% say barbecue and 11 said hot dogs. I was honestly surprised that barbecue was pushing burger that closely. I thought it actually might be a blowout with burger. But barbecue had some deep love being shown. So there you go.
John says blasphemy.
Blasphemy, he says. He can't spell blasphemy without Googling it.
Sorry, Yehuda just texted me. I'm texting him back real quick. My bad.
Tell Yehuda to give me a hug in August. All right. Our last poll put out last Thursday, 1.6 thousand votes. Kind of piggybacking off of last week's conversation, we talked about the top American guns and all that. Kind of went this one because there was a conversation that we had for a brief time last week, and I kind of took this to the poll. Not saying it's a better gun, not saying better design, not saying anything. Which is more iconic, 1911 or the Single Action Army? Which is more iconic, maybe more important, if you will? Kyle, going to start with you. 1911 or Single Action Army?
That one's tough, and this could be recency factor right here, but 1911 for me.
Okay. Yeah. Ginger?
This is like Kyle said, this is really tough because the 1911 is fantastic.
They both changed the world, let's just say, right?
I would say the 1911 for modern times and for more innovation on how everything went, because everything's kind of based off that Browning tilt barrel. 1911 has it, but for me, there's something about a Single Action Army that just speaks to me, and I guess that's the FUD in me or the guy who lives in out west now. But like, it's the Single Action. I got one today. I'm gonna say I got a Single Action Army today. It has become a fidget toy. It has been sitting at my desk. I've been spinning it around, cocking the hammer back, playing with it, unloaded.
Thinking that you're Billy the Kid.
Well, I also just watched all the spaghetti westerns over the weekend.
Of course you did.
So
there you go.
Yeah, I watched Fistful of Dollars and a few dollars more and Good, the Bad, the Ugly. It was such a great.
All great ones. All great ones.
So I'm
there are worse ways to spend a weekend. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Oh, and I also watched
working my ass off. So yeah.
I also watched the new Beverly Hill Cop.
I did too. I was pleasantly surprised.
Yes.
Not saying it's a great movie. I'm not saying it's better than the original. I just had such low expectations that I was pleasantly surprised. And they brought back a lot of people that I didn't know that they were going to bring back. So it was kind of a cool movie.
Yeah, cool movie and a lot of funny references.
Definitely, if you're a Beverly Hills Cop fan, it's definitely worth a watch if you're out there. So, 1.6 thousand votes. 1911, 76%. Single Action Army, 24%. So it was a landslide towards a 1911. It'd be interesting if this poll was put over on Clover's channel or something. He's got more Revolver guys on watching this channel. It'd be interesting to see if those numbers were changed or not. But 1911 gets 76%. And honestly, I don't disagree. I will say the Single Action Army changed America. The Wild West was a thing, and that's the gun that won the Wild West for a lot of people. The 1911 is just 3 world wars, baby, or 2 world wars, and Vietnam and Korea and all that. So it's hard to go against 1911. It's hard to go against 1911. Let's see what everybody else is saying up there. Rod saying 1911 hands down. Calico Jack 1911. Skidmark says Single Action Army. I love the idea of a 1911, but Single Action Army over Revolver is better for me. There you go. 80 years. Well, here's the thing, man. We're talking about the 1911 being still to this day a very relevant design, but so is the Single Action Army. You just got a revolver that's wouldn't be around if it wasn't for the Single Action Army, So I think that they're both still incredibly important and relevant in today. But I would definitely say 1911. I would say for me it's 1911 for sure. 1.6 thousand votes, 76% do say 1911. Those are our pony polls for the week. Make sure you go check out Anderson Manufacturing. Go follow them on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, and I think Kyle might even have a TikTok channel over there. I don't know. Definitely over on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter. Let him know that Ghost sent you. What's up?
No TikTok.
No TikTok. You're not doing dancing over there?
Well, I can cut some rug.
I do know that. I think you should go make some money over on TikTok. I'm just saying.
I don't know.
Yeah, you never know. And if you're going to go over to Anderson Manufacturing, their website, and purchase some cool, awesome stuff, then there's a couple codes that you could use to save some money. We don't make any money off this. It's there to help you save money. Mine is just Ghost. Just type in Ghost. And John, is yours FLR or is it Fully Loaded Reviews? What is it?
It's FLR.
FLR. Use either one of those codes and save you some money. How'd the weekend sale go, Kyle? Was it pretty successful for you guys?
Yeah, it was incredible results for the summertime, man.
Good.
Truly blessed.
I know summertime is brutal for the industry, so hopefully it kickstarted a little bit for you at least.
Yeah, and if you're out there and you participated in it, thank you. It means a lot.
It would really kickstart Anderson? The Pony Express.
Man, it's been a long time.
I heard rumors. There's still been unconfirmed rumors that the Pony Express will be at Gold's. I'm just waiting for those rumors to be confirmed.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Can't confirm nor deny. What'd he say?
Just nothing, Ghost. You didn't hear anything, man.
There you go. I guess Artec, did he spend some money? He said, "You're welcome, Kyle." I guess he must have spent some money over the weekend. Project 34. There you go.
Heck yeah. I'm excited to see that. Project 34. We got one of those Trump Punisher lowers. He's calling it Project 34.
I like it.
It's going to be nice.
I like it. It's going to be sweet. Yeah. All right. Thanks, boys and girls. We're out of here. Just kidding.
Till next time.
Until next time, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars. So this kind of got started Sunday night on the Ghost of Clover podcast. And the question that I brought into Clover was talking about like truck guns and not carry guns, but like something you would keep in your vehicle or something like that. And it kind of turned into a cool conversation. So I want to bring that up to Kyle and John. But where we're going to be going with this is road tripping. It's summertime. People are taking trips with the family or whatever. Road tripping with guns. Do you we'll talk about maybe what you guys take. I want to hear out there in the chat. Would you guys go on a road trip with the family? Or y'all taking guns with you for protection or whatever? And if so, like what? How we have them set up and what all when we go road tripping, what all kind of do we prepare for, or do you prepare for anything? Some people just say, let's just go have fun. So it's all good. Skidmark says, good night, guys. It's 1:43 in the morning. Hey, thanks for coming out, buddy. And Skidmark says, not allowed here. That's because you're in Scotland. So you can take you can take a knife over there. You can take like maybe a slingshot or just pure brute. With the name Skidmark, I worry about you, brother. I worry about you. Thanks for coming back, buddy, and say hi to Scotland for us. So what I want to do before we start talking about road tripping and how we prepare for that and what all we take, I do want to kind of bring the question that I brought to Clover to you guys tonight. Aside from like a carry gun, a handgun. Now, when I say a truck gun or whatever, it can still be a handgun, but aside from your carry gun, right? When you guys go on a road trip or something, do you carry a dedicated, defensive, a different gun that you normally wouldn't carry, but you take it in the vehicle when you go on trips? You take it to the Airbnbs or hotels or whatever. Do you guys have a dedicated gun that you take on trips with you, whether it's a handgun, rifle, whatever it is? Some people on Sunday were talking about a really cool lever action or whatever, but Kyle, I want to start with you. Aside from your carry gun, when you guys go on a road trip or something, whether it's to an event or just with a family, do you bring a dedicated kind of a vehicle truck gun, if you will?
I do.
And obviously, OPSEC, you don't have to necessarily go specific, but a generality of maybe what you take.
Yeah. So for me, I don't mind being specific about what it is. I got my dissipator in my car. My wife's got a 9mm PCC, and the back of her is a little 8-inch barrel.
Yeah.
That's just because she can swap mags interchangeable.
Absolutely. No, it makes sense. And that was part of the discussion is it something you take like a Glock 19 and a PCC because you can swatch out, Glock mags and ammo. I mean, that's, and we'll talk about that in the planning road tripping phases, but no, that's a legitimate thing,
Yeah. And I'm interested about tonight's conversation, mainly to pick John's brain. Like, really, I guess, like I mentioned the state laws and stuff like that. And,
yep.
If those do come up tonight, that does not reflect anything on Anderson Manufacturing. I'm just going to throw that disclaimer out here right now.
This is Kyle talking.
Yeah, it's Kyle talk. But I am interested to see like what the appropriate approach would be as far as crossing state lines and kind of checking out the laws, and if anything you got pulled over or something, like how to go about that. So
yeah,
this will be an interesting one for sure.
Now Artax says road trip sub 2000. I wonder if he's driving a Honda S2000 with the sub 2000. That would break the matrix, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Just saying. Ginger going on a road trip, whether it's driving to an event or with hot yoga, like when you go on a road trip, I had to throw it in there. I'm not going to tell your wife's name on air. I don't tell my wife's name on air. So, but when you guys go somewhere, like not just like a day trip, but we're talking like an overnight or a couple nights, like you're going to be gone for a couple nights. Do you take a dedicated weapon, or is it just your carry gun?
Depends on where we're going.
Okay.
Like,
it's fair.
I cannot confirm or deny that on the way to a location of gathering of industry people in a state north of me, I may have had my Strybog and brought it with me to the hotel. I cannot confirm or deny that.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing, not breaking any laws there that I know of.
Technically speaking, that city is a gun-free zone.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't believe in gun-free zones, so
they were searching people's boxes.
I don't acknowledge gun-free zones.
Not that one. But they were searching people's bag. When I walked in, they were searching people's hard cases. And I was like, luckily I had my Vertex bag because that just looks like a backpack.
Yep.
So yeah.
Take care, Rod. Rod's got to go. So have a great evening. Take care, Rod. We'll see you next month, buddy.
So I not only had a dedicated road trip gun, but I had for a long time I had a dedicated backpack gun that I would take everywhere with me. I built a 10.5 with the Gearhead Works brace and the Deadfoot Arms system that I put into built into a backpack gun that fit my Vertex, and I carried that everywhere just to have extra firepower. So that is something I did, but legality thing like this is like a big thing that I wanted to talk about too when I found out, because road tripping it's hard. Being somebody who moved from Ohio to another state and had to cross one that had that flag in it, when you have like a large amount of firearms in a safe in the U-Haul and you're trying to get across state lines, it can be a little bit butt puckering, especially in that state. So you got to also follow state by state laws and things like that.
Yeah. That's the only downside of having NRAM in Indianapolis where I am, is I have to go through a communist state for a little while, and that sucks. So so like a backpack gun, I've got that Foxtrot Mike, like it's a 5.5 inch AR-9, but I put the Sylvan Arms folding adapter for the stock and the buffer tube, and so when it folds, and it's about that big, so you can put that in a backpack. I think what I'm going to do now is put that on the SAR 109T, the folding adaptation, because I just love that. But right now, mine is it's either the SAR or the frontline 10.5 5.56, and I like those two because the quad rail. I love quad rails, but I can put lights. I can do whatever I want. The SAR is a 9mm. The frontline is this one that I have is a 5.56, and it's fantastic. Either way, you're able to have plenty of ammo, plenty of capacity with either one of those systems. So when I'm thinking a road trip truck gun, it's going to be an AR pistol or whatever, pistol length, an AR some kind, because of the modularity of an AR, whether it's a 9mm, 5.56, 300 blackout, whatever, 10mm, whatever it is. It's definitely going to be, for me, it's the thing is going to be an AR platform. I tell you what I did in Dallas is I brought the Witness 2311, and I put a light on that and all that. So that was it's too big for me to carry, but I brought that with me as well. So I'll have handgun and some sort of an AR. I'm not saying I wouldn't go with a full length rifle either, but most of the time it's going to be a pistol length of some sort. And right now my two are the SAR and the Anderson Frontline. The SAR is like I think it's like a 7-inch. I might be wrong about that. Like a 7-inch barrel, 9mm. And then the Frontline's a 10.5, 5.56. And either way, they're great. Sometimes I might take both, depends on where I'm going, but and who I'm going to see. But yeah, those are those. let's kind of start a conversation. We don't have to like raise hands and then wait for everybody. Let's just start the conversation and say, like what John says, it depends on, where we're going, how far we're going, how long we're going to be gone, right? So let's just say it was for like this past 4th of July weekend, a 4-day, 96, whatever you want to call it, 4-day weekend. You're going to go see some friends, maybe camp out, or you're going away for a 4-day stretch, a 3 or 4 day holiday, right? When you all start thinking about that, let's start talking about prepping. Maybe not even really before we even get to that weapon. What all do y'all start thinking about that is going to be outside of the normal food, clothing, and all that? Are y'all thinking survival bag or anything like survival tools in case car breaks down? Like, aside from that firearm, what else are you guys thinking about bringing for like a 3 or 4 day holiday?
Oh, definitely extra water for where I'm at. Just having water and things like that. You get stuck somewhere you can't get cell service or anything like that. Food, fire starting material. Not right now because it's too hot, but things like that. I always used to keep.
Oh, you could just throw something on the ground; it'll catch on fire in Arizona right now.
True. I normally used to keep like a couple 2-liter bottles of water, emergency blanket. Now this is back in Ohio. Shovel, kitty litter. If it's snow season, that bag would constantly be changing in case something happens where you get stuck. So,
yeah,
that stuff's always planned out.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm the same way. You got to start thinking ahead, thinking about where you're going, kind of what situations you're going to find yourself in, and be prepared for that. So, not to copy everything John said, but that's literally how I
no, it's the same way here. Is you got to figure out. I live in point A. I'm going to point B. What's in between point A and point B? What kind of terrain is it? What kind of what is it? Is it more urban? Is it more rural? If it's more urban, then maybe you don't have to take as many survival supplies, because if you're going to be around a lot of cities and all that, you can walk a mile or two to get to a store or whatever. If you're going to be going through Yellowstone or through Montana, where you might not see anything for hundreds of miles, then you have to be prepared. What if you get a flat? What if your car breaks down? You've got to have some sort of food, water, heating sources, all sorts of different things. And it's not saying being paranoid. It's just called being prepared. You have to know what's going on in between point A and point B for sure.
The other thing I bring, and I don't think it gets brought up enough, is I bring my bail fang with me. Every time we go on something on a trip like that, like
ham radio. I think Kyle's got a ham radio now, don't you? I know at least you were looking at one at one point.
I know I got it, and still learning, but I got the basics down. So
and the
great thing about a Bayo thing or a ham radio in general is you have to have a licensed FCC license to actually kind of do communication the right way. But always remember, in an emergency situation, you can flip that thing on and call for emergency that you won't get in trouble at all. So a great ham radio is wonderful to have for emergency situations, because you cannot get in trouble if you're calling in an emergency. Just remember that. So sorry, go ahead.
No, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Oh, okay. I like stealing people's thunder. So Gerald out there wants to know, how much ammo are you taking with you? I'm not going to put a number on it because I don't know. Let's just say I have the Frontline 5.56. I'm going to take a magazine in it. I'm going to have a couple backups, and then I'll also probably even take my belt, my war belt, if you will. It's going to have a couple on there. I want to have access, and I always have. I know it sounds weird. I always have my carrier in the vehicle also, and that's got 2 different. I'm probably taking 6 to 8 magazines. You don't know if you're going to have to hunt with it. You don't know if you're going to have. You don't know what's going to happen. So I'd rather have too much and not need it than going, damn, I wish I brought a couple extra mags. So I'm taking at least 6 mags with me, if not more, for sure. Kyle Ginger, regardless of if it's a handgun, rifle, whatever it is, do you have like a set amount of ammo, or is it just whatever, how many mags you have for that gun you're going to bring with it, or what? How do y'all talk about ammo?
Cookie cutter for me. Like, I got my rifle bag set up. I got, it's condition 3, but 1 in.
Yep. Absolutely.
And then 5 additional mags for the Dissy. On the AM9, I think it's the same deal. Condition 3, mag inserted, 5 separate mags. And my wife, she carries, so she's got 1 mag in her pistol, which it's a M&P, or not an M&P, Kiger.
So they can take Glock mags also. So
yeah. So but freak, where was I going there? She carries 1 mag in that, and then 1 additional mag with that in her purse. So I guess on that one, it's altogether 8 mags, if my math is correct, which I don't know.
So does the AR9 that she has, does it take Glock mags as well?
Yep.
So they're interchangeable ammo and mags. That's a perfect situation.
Yeah.
That's a great thing too. Ginger, what about you as far as ammo? Do you have a set amount, or you just kind of what you got, you're going to throw some in there, or what?
Normally 3 mags for each gun. So
okay.
three for
preloaded mags, or are you just taking a bunch of, okay.
Yeah. Preloaded mags. So
a lot of people don't preload their mags. I was going to say, if you don't preload your mags, I'm not going to tell you how to run your life, but preload your mags, you know?
Yeah. That's important. A lot of people think it'll mess the springs up on the magazines.
It won't.
They are built for that. They are built for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Or should be. Can't speak.
Yeah. If they're not, then don't use those mags anymore.
Yeah.
Our text says 7 mags total. Defense test says, I have a teenager. Survival pack includes things to keep her from annoying me on a road trip, like phone chargers and battery packs. So this was something that I was going to talk about a little bit later, but we can go ahead and talk about now. When most people think survival tools, it's food, water, fire, shelter, right? Those are the 4 main ones: food, water, heat sources, and shelter. If you go to any survival school in the world, those are the 4 necessities. In today's world, yes, phone charging, cable cords, portable battery backup things is great. I want to throw something out. We always bring this up for different things, but this is something that I can't stress enough, is medication. Whether it's aspirin, Tylenol, Aleve, whatever it is. But if you're on, it sounds crazy, but if you're on medication, like prescription medication, bring more than just the days you're going to go. So if something does happen and you're stranded for a week somewhere without medication, always bring more than enough of your prescription medication also. And the last thing you want to do is spend all this time and effort to try to survive, and you have a bad time because you forget your prescription medication. But yeah, a first aid kit obviously needs to be in your truck at all times. I've got 2 or 3 in every vehicle. But a trauma kit, and there is a difference between a first aid kit and a trauma kit. Have a trauma kit. Have at bare minimum like an Israeli bandage, but I would say at least have a couple different tourniquets. God, my mind is blown. Having tourniquets, you never know when you're going to need all that stuff. But all this stuff, it sounds bad, but I mean, some of this stuff you should be in your vehicle at all times. Let's just be honest. That's just me. Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. There you go.
I liked Ron's answer on that too. The shotgun. That's not a bad idea to be.
I didn't see that one. Where is it? Let me go up here. Oh, living in the mountains. Yeah. Shotgun ammo variety is a backup. Absolutely. I would suggest not just bringing one. Like I said, I'll usually bring a couple different ones. Maybe a handgun and a rifle. And you know what? I might even throw a shotgun in there, or a lever or something. It'd be kind of cool. But having a handgun and a rifle, especially if you have to if something happens to your vehicle or something, when you're broken down or whatever, bad weather, and you have to leave that vehicle and go find shelter or find something elsewhere, having multiple guns, because if I have to split up from my family, they're going to have one, I'll have one. If we all go together, I can put handgun on my hip, rifle slung, and we're patrolling at that point. So having multiple weapon systems is probably the best way to go. And you know what? A shotgun, absolutely. A shotgun is a great way to go. Especially you like a 20 gauge or 28 gauge, something that, you know, like one of the kids has been able to handle. Like now you've got yourself a battle buddy, right? So you've got someone that can help out in that situation.
So this is where legality stuff comes in.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So this is why I like to play devil advocate sometimes. So in Ohio, where I was living, Ohio has a law. So it depends on what the license is. Ohio has a CHL, which is a concealed handgun license.
Sure.
So you can only conceal in your vehicle or on your person a handgun. It has to be a
handgun. Now, is an
AR
pistol considered? Because it is registered as a pistol.
Yeah, so that is considered a handgun.
Good.
So like Ohio, the other weird law that they used to have, they've done away with it, but it used to be a loaded mag was considered a loaded firearm. So if you had a loaded mag and the gun was in the vehicle, it was considered a loaded firearm. So they've done away with that. So that's where the state.
So I'm going to preface this. I'm assuming that you can't have a loaded handgun in a vehicle.
You can't have. Well, you can if you have a CHL. Yeah.
Okay. If you don't have a CHL, are you allowed to have weapons in the car at all?
No. They have to be. You can have for transport purposes. They have to be unloaded. Ammo, the gun and ammo cannot be within arm's reach of each other, or they have to be both in the trunk of the vehicle. That was Ohio law.
Okay.
So now with the constitutional carry stuff, things have changed a little bit. But like certain states have laws where you can't have a loaded rifle in the vehicle.
Absolutely.
So that's why I built the backpack gun to be a pistol, because I knew that I couldn't do it. Same thing, like for the longest time I wanted to keep a shotgun in the trunk, condition 3, and I was told you can't do that because that's now considered loaded, and that's a conceal of a loaded firearm. So
I get that. Yeah.
So when you're traveling like to states, like I don't know what Kentucky law is, but I know like if I were to travel to like Pennsylvania, or I would just look at reciprocity and their laws before I bring like a gun.
Oh,
and most of them are
before you take a trip anywhere. This goes into the planning, like plan your route.
Yeah.
Way ahead of time, and know your route, and then go GOA. There's different websites out there that you can go and check out the different laws for each state of what you're able not to do. It's just like Illinois. The gun has to be in a lockbox separated from any ammo. So it's like when I'm going up to Indianapolis, when I get out of Missouri, getting ready to go into Illinois, I've got to stop and it's the same one I go to every time. It's this gas station. I get gas, use it, get a cigarette or whatever. But then I have to put my gun in the lockbox and separate the ammo from it. It is what it is. But here's the thing. The reason why I say that is I'm going to tell you this, that for the most part, I don't acknowledge bad laws against firearms. I don't think that they're legal. So it is what it is. Do I carry on school property a lot and all that? I may or may not, That said, what I suggest for people to do, I would never suggest to live your life like me and others do. I suggest you to do is obey the laws of the state that you're in, because the last thing that we want is we try to preach being law-abiding gun owners. And the last thing we need is for people out there just going willy-nilly with gun laws and getting in trouble, because that's going to be the headline, Why do you have 4 different guns and 7 different magazines of firearms traveling through a state that you're not allowed to do that with? It doesn't look good. Plan your route, and it's going to sound bad. Sometimes it may be worth to pick a different route that might take you around a troubled area. If you have, it might add an hour to your trip or hour and a half to your trip, but it might be worth it sometimes. If you had to go through a little sliver of a state, but if you took a reroute and you go around that state or whatever, plan your route and plan according to what your beliefs are. So there you go. But the best thing I tell you is please abide by the laws.
I'll let everybody know this. You have safe right of travel through a state with firearms as long as you do not stop. So what that means is like, if
don't stop and get gas, fill up. Like I said, I fill up with gas. I use the restroom. I get something to eat, and I have a cigarette because I know for the next hour and 15 minutes, I ain't stopping.
So when I went through Illinois on my way to Arizona, I stopped at the Indiana border, unloaded everything, made sure they were all in the U-Haul because that's a locked container.
It is a locked container.
Drove all the way through, got to Missouri, unlocked it, put everything back, and drove all the way back down.
Yep.
That's the other thing you have to look at is make sure that your CHL is state compliant, or you have reciprocity. That's another one that everyone forgets. The other one is make sure that you're looking up the laws and planning. We just had a guy recently who called GOA who got an Airbnb in DC, took his gun off, left it in the Airbnb, went into DC, did his thing. For some reason, the Airbnb sent a cleaner in the middle of the day, the lady saw the gun sitting there, called the cops, and he had a warrant out for his arrest the very next day.
For trying to do the right thing.
Yeah. DC's real bad. You can't even have like I went into DC again. This is when I first started with GOA, went into DC for something, was in the car, and my boss and somebody else was in the car, and I was sitting there, and they're like, "Okay, you got anything on you?" I'm like, "Oh, I just got my pocket knife," and they're like, "Take it off, leave it in the car, hide it, like don't let anybody see you have it." DC is that strict. Pocket knives, magazines. Like we found a magazine in the car, we had to hide it. Like 30-round magazines. DC is very, very picky, and they'll get you really good.
They are. Yeah, just be cognitive of the laws that you're going to be in. You're going to do what you got to do. You're going to choose to abide by those laws or not. That is free will, and you have the right to make those decisions. The official point that I'm going to make is I suggest that you follow the laws that you're in, and be safe. Rather be safe than sorry. So
I don't know what you're talking about, Ghost. I don't know what you're talking about. We don't go anywhere that's a gun-free zone for a convention at all.
Exactly. Never. But yeah, no, I think a lot of it comes down to planning, and that's really what I'm talking about when road tripping is. I don't think that people plan very much. Most of the time that I'm going somewhere now, I've been there before. Like Knoxville, I haven't never been in Knoxville, so this is going to be new for me, right? It's in Tennessee, which is right next door. I know the laws of Tennessee, so it's not going to be that crazy because I know what the laws are in Tennessee, and they're favorable to being an Arkansan as well. So, but when you're going somewhere, like when I went to the gathering a few years back, and we stopped down in Talladega to do the POMA shoot down there, and then drove into South Carolina for the gathering. I'm going from Arkansas into Tennessee, into Mississippi, into Alabama, into Georgia, into South Carolina. Yes, they're all the South. Yes, they're all pretty good. But each of them may have a little different. Like South Carolina, ironically, at the time, it might be changed now, at the time did not reciprocate with Arkansas for concealed carry. I think it has changed since then. But at the time, they didn't reciprocate. That said, I wasn't worried about it, but it's just one of those things where you just need to make sure. Now, the great thing about having 27, 28 states that are doing constitutional carry is if you're in the South and you're going to somewhere else in the South, chances are it's constitutional carry in that state anyways, so you're good. But one of the questions that I wanted to bring up and ask as far as planning and just in general, so Arkansas is a constitutional carry state. We do still have concealed carry permits, and we actually have enhanced permits that allow you to carry in places that you may not be able to carry otherwise. That said, Kyle, do y'all have is Kentucky constitutional carry?
We are.
Okay, in Arizona. So
yeah.
do y'all still offer for people that want them concealed carry licenses in Arizona and Kentucky?
100%. And I mean,
do you have one? Do you have a license, or you just utilize the constitutional carry side?
So I used to be 100% against. All right. So this is where my beliefs kind of they have to stay.
Once again, this is not Anderson. This is Kyle. Yeah.
A couple years back, gosh, it's been probably 2 years ago I got mine. But before that, I always took. I'm a constitutionalist at heart. So like
same here.
A lot of this stuff, like getting licenses for firearms and
tax,
stuff,
baby. Yeah,
is absolute bullcrap to me.
Yep.
And that's all I'm going to really say on that. But when I found out
about that,
yeah. But when I found out that it makes purchasing my lowers and my firearms,
it serves in Arkansas. It serves as your NICS check, so I don't have to go through a NICS. It's done.
Yeah, same.
That's the main reason why I continue to have one.
That is why that is the straw that broke the camel's back there, and I am a concealed carry license holder now. But I guess blah, blah, blah. I can't think right now, but I don't agree with the actual reason why you should get a concealed carry license.
No, I don't either.
But the educational aspect of it for some people, I just had the military, I had the Marine Corps to lean on. I learned a lot. I learned everything I needed to know.
Here, the testing procedures and education is a joke, right? So in Arkansas, no offense, but it's not. Now, the enhanced part of the license, the concealed carry, enhanced conceal, where you can carry it like at restaurants and bars and some campuses and stuff like that. It's a separate fee, and it's like a $5 fee forever. But I mean, but you have to go through another class. But they actually make you go through like the FBI shooting stage, like a 50-round test, different distances and all that. So if you're going to get the enhanced, they want to make sure that you actually you're not going to hurt somebody, which I agree with. That said, I agree with you 100%. I think the taxation is all what that is. It's making money off of it. But I do have mine, and I'll always have mine for two reasons. One, yes, when I go in and pick up a gun, that concealed carry license acts as my NICS background check, and I don't have to go through that. It's done. I filled the 4473, do my thing, and I'm gone. Don't have to wait on anything. The second reason why I still keep it is with traveling. Now it's getting easier because so many of the states are going constitutional carry, but until before 5 years ago, when the constitutional carry kind of trend really set foot, it was weird because I was having a conversation with Pincus. This is years ago, and we had figured out if you got like 4 different concealed carry licenses with all the different reciprocity laws, if you got 4 of them, you were covered in like 48 states, which is kind of cool. And we were going through which ones, and the cool thing is some of these you could apply for an out-of-state resident license, and you could still get, like, let's say a Utah concealed carry license. Even though I don't live in Utah, I could apply for one being an out-of-state resident and pay my fee and all that, and I could be issued XYZ state's license, which is kind of cool. But I will say this is one of the reasons why I would never say that you've got to go get your concealed carry license. I would never say that. But if you travel a lot and you're going to places that are not constitutional carry states, but they do reciprocate or they do recognize your home state's concealed carry license, that's going to open up some doors for you. Legally, you can then carry in that state. Now, do you have to abide by their carry laws? Technically, yes. But at least you are able to because you have that license. If you travel a lot, whether it's for work or whatever, and a lot of it's driving, truck drivers or whatever, having a concealed carry license is not the worst thing in the world to have, depending upon what routes you usually take. So once that comes into planning, Ginger, do you? Arizona obviously constitutional carry. They do offer concealed carry. What are your thoughts on the license?
I still have my Ohio license.
You still have your Ohio, okay?
Yeah.
Now, do you have it as a non-resident, or do you still like maybe list like mom and dad's house or something?
I'm still good with it. I'm good until 2026. I called them, and as long as I'm still good, that license is good until 2026, and then I'll probably get my Arizona one just in case. The issue that comes up with constitutional carry is not all constitutional carry laws written the same, even though you want it to be. Some of them, some states. And some of them have been fixed, but some states only include residents that are currently living in that state. Correct. So I have my license for that reason because I travel. You know how much I travel. I travel a ton. So, and most of it's flying, but I rather, fly into a state and have everything.
Do you take a gun? Do you travel with a gun when you're flying, or do you usually when you get there maybe have a friend that will allow
50,
you
50.
to use one?
50-50. It's only because, if I'm traveling for the podcast, I'm going to Forge's place, so I borrow one from Will. I don't need anything there. But if I'm going to an event, normally I'll bring something with me or bring somewhere where I know, I'm going to need something. Or
hey, Trey, you're going to meet me up there.
Yeah.
Can can you bring me a Glock 19 or something? Hey, I've done that with Clover before. It's shot. Hey, since you're driving, what do you got? I got this. Perfect. Bring that with you.
I used to fly with it often. Lately, I haven't as much because they don't just check the gun anymore. They search your entire suitcase, and they've taken my lighters. They've taken stuff out of there, said it's not allowed, even though it is by TSA policy. TSA, I'm going to give a public service announcement real quick. TSA.
Yep.
Figure it out between each airport. They don't all need to be different. They should have a standard guideline.
You would think, right? You would think.
Because some of them, they check it right there. Some of them, they check it behind the desk, which is not allowed because they have to open it in front of you.
Yeah.
It just drives me nuts. And I'm a constitutionalist. I know the Constitution grants me the right to this, but at the same time, I do not want to
go to jail.
I don't want to be the case. I don't want to be the example case, because if you're the example case, the money that you're going to be spending on
money and time. I don't disagree, Abigail. Abigail says abolish the TSA and privatize airport security. I'm down with that.
Oh, 100% down.
Down with that. Abigail also says in Florida, it's 2 hours of class with 25 rounds. It's a joke. Take a real training class from a reputable instructor. So in Arkansas, to get your license, it's a shall issue state. You're going to get it. But technically, so I know a lot of what they do. It's like a 6-hour class, but a lot of it's just kind of going over by law. That requires you to kind of go over the laws. So a lot of it you can, go really slowly on that. And then basically you go out to the range and they have like paper plates. And if you take about 5 shots and you hit, the instructor feels that you're going to be somewhat safe around hitting it at about 5 feet at a paper plate, signs off on it. What it is. It's a shall issue state. You're going to get it. And if you don't do it the first time, he'll make sure you stay there at that range until you can hit 3 or 4 out of 5 on the paper plate from 5 feet. And you're going to get your license when you leave that day. That's just the way it is.
I fired 3 rounds in my concealed carry class.
I didn't. Irony. I shoot with the instructor all the time. He was like, "Here, just, you're good."
Yeah.
He shoots with me all the time, so he's like, he knows that I can shoot. He's like, and when I come up for, I think it's in a few years, I've got my a couple of years ago when I got my renewal. I won't tell you who I went to, but the person that I went to, he stopped by my office, saw my paperwork, I was gone. So it's fantastic.
Most states, so Abigail says Florida shall issue as well.
Yeah.
There's only I think 3 states now that are not shall issue.
Yeah, they're may issue.
You may. I think
that Bruin should have helped a lot in the may issue states. So
I think it's New York, Illinois, and California out of the 3. Maybe Washington is lumped into there, but they maybe shall issue.
So isn't DC one of those? Are you saying Washington State or Washington DC?
Washington State. DC
I don't know.
is a different. That's a different can of worm. I think Heller opened that up.
It's not like in May. It's a whole different than May issue.
Well, DC, you need a permit just to own a gun in DC proper.
Yeah. Okay.
That's where Heller
very
came
strange.
In. Yeah.
But Bruin should help the may issue states, right? I mean, it should technically.
Bruin and Heller, both of them should help.
Well, Heller's been around for a while and hasn't helped New York, New Jersey, and all that. Bruin really helped New York, where they were, and I don't know if it was the May issue, but when you had to go to like a local law enforcement, they couldn't like just come up with excuses not to give you one anymore. So that has to help with May issue. It has to help.
Yeah. I think California's got. I think they got slapped on the wrist with Bruin, and they started opening it up a little bit more. But the process is forever.
Yeah,
I know. But a lot of.
Okay, good.
A lot of places like Ohio's original class was 16 hours. They cut it down to 8.
Okay.
And then even then, it was just a pain in the butt.
So let me ask you guys this: in the state of Arkansas, the state police issues the concealed carry license. So you do all your paperwork, send it to the state police, and a month to 6 weeks later, you get your license, blah, blah, blah. And what they do is they pull your picture from your driver's license, and it looks just like a driver's license. Instead of saying driver's license, it says concealed carry permit or license, whatever. But they pull your picture from your driver's license and put the same picture on that that's run through the state police. I also know that in a lot of states, your local law enforcement, whether it's a sheriff or someone like that, can locally issue your concealed carry license. How is it in Kentucky and Arizona? Who do you have to go through to get your license?
Arizona is by county, and it's also you mail in your certificate and your money, and then you may hear from them. I know Steve got his, and it took him almost 4 months to get his permit because there's only one person. There's one person doing it, and they don't care because we're constitutional carry state. So it's like, oh, you really want your Arizona permit? It's like a back thought for them. Ohio, we had to make an appointment, show up, get fingerprinted, get our photo taken at the county sheriff's office.
Oh, see, like we would just go and get our fingerprints done on our own. The paperwork from the instructor would sign off, and we basically put it in an envelope, mailed that envelope with the form and the check or whatever. Or you could write your credit card number down or whatever, and then mail it to the state police. And then a month later or so, you get your license in the mail. But I think it's interesting you said locally in the county. So does your sheriff at that point in the county issue your card to you, or do you still have to get it from somewhere else?
No, mine says the county sheriff. So when I moved counties in Ohio, like when I moved from Summit County to I can't remember. The county is on the license. It is issued by.
Can you only carry in that county, or does that cover the state?
It covers the state, but
it's issued by the county.
It's issued by the county, and like the other thing is, Ohio I think it's like, I want to say it's 30 days, but it used to be like quicker. Like when I moved, and I moved like multiple times since I got my permit. When I move, I have to inform them that I moved and let them know. Like
in Ohio.
In Ohio,
yeah. Yeah, Scott says he's in Arizona. His issued by the state, and it took him 90 days. So, yeah, that's 3 months. That sucks.
I need to get my Arizona permit just so I don't have to do a background check anymore. I'm gonna do the next check.
So, yeah, I would imagine the Arizona doesn't not necessarily recognize the Ohio license for Nick's background.
It's by state.
Yep.
Because they tried and they called ATF and it goes, oh no, you have to have a state specific for that state.
It makes sense, honestly. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with it, but I understand why. It's probably for liability, because anyone can come with some out of state thing and whatever. Buy 1,000 rounds of 50 BMG, for instance.
I don't think you need a state ID for that one.
Probably
depends on what store you shop at.
That's all we're going to say about that. RTAC says, when I moved to Tennessee in 2001 from Kentucky, all he had to do was pay the fee for the Tennessee concealed carry. And I think that's where it comes in. If you have a license from a state that is in cohorts or has reciprocity with that state, that very well could be. Hey, you just need to come in, pay your fee, and since you've already been issued in a state that we recognize, then we're not going to make you go through all that. Just pay your fee and you're done. I don't know. I've been here for so long that,
You brought up the 48 states with the 3 licenses.
So
here was the funny law in Ohio. So he had a guy come in and he had a Florida concealed carry permit. And then
I think it was 4 permits. If you got 4 permits, you were covered by like 48 states.
So awesome. I remember when it started, people were getting Florida permits because Florida was one of the first ones and they had reciprocity with everybody. Yep. So a guy came in, he had a Florida permit, and then like a month later he came back and he got a ticket for carrying unlawfully. Ohio has a law. If you're an Ohio resident, you have to have an Ohio license. Your other licenses are null and void.
They acknowledge other states.
Yes, if you're
a resident, you've got to have an Ohio.
Yeah,
interesting.
That was before. Again, that's before they went constitutional carry.
So
This is like 2016, 2017. This is the law that they had.
Interesting. Yeah, this was like 2018 or so. 2018 or so, and it was like me and Clover and Pincus were just like shooting the shit one night, and we were talking about because he had the big PDN tour that year, and they were going to go all across the country, and he was trying to figure out how to maneuver the tour with reciprocity. And we sat there and said, okay, well, at that time he was in Colorado. So says, well, your Colorado is covering XYZ states. He says, yeah, and I can get a Florida because I have a residence in Florida also. So if I get a Florida, that's going to cover XYZ. And then we looked at like South Carolina had like a weird one at the time. Like they didn't do reciprocity with like anybody except for like Utah or something like that. So if you got a Utah, it covered not only South Carolina, but it covered some other states that the Colorado didn't cover, and all this other. It was like, I think we came up, and I don't remember which ones they were, but I think there were 4 licenses that if you got these 4, you were covered in 48 of the 50 states. Ironically, the other 2 were not Alaska and Hawaii. One of them was Hawaii that was not covered, but Alaska is covered by a lot of reciprocity states. I want to say it was California or New Jersey's, one of the 2 that didn't do reciprocity with anybody. And it might have been California. Don't quote me on that. It was one of the 2. But ironically, like most of these states that we figured out, the reason why we chose like those 4 is most of them offered an out-of-state resident, either out-of-state or a non-resident license. So you didn't have to live there to get it. If you could prove that you would be traveling through the state enough times per year or whatever for work, they would give you this non-resident concealed carry license because of work. And it was kind of a cool thing, though. I remember that's like maybe 2018 we did that, and we were up till late, and it was fun. I know it kind of sounds nerdy, but it was kind of fun. But we figured out 4 licenses were going to cover 48 of the 50 states, and that was pretty cool.
Nerds.
Now it doesn't matter as much because over half the countries, constitutional carry now. So.
Yeah, I remember when I first started getting into this, we went into Pennsylvania because Pennsylvania, you had no class. You just paid your fee at the sheriff's office.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So I went into
Interesting.
I want to say it was Butler County Sheriff's Office. I went in to go in because I was driving through for work. And I went to go do it. And they're like, yeah, you're not here enough. Or, hey, no, we've cut that off. And I'm like, what? But the other one that's weird that I laugh about is like with reciprocity, it can change like overnight.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Ohio, we had Wisconsin, and then we lost Wisconsin. Then we got Wisconsin back, and then we lost it again. And it all depends on who's like in charge.
Exactly.
Jeez.
Yeah. So exactly right. So we should have prefaced this entire conversation, which I love the conversation. Kyle's got to be somewhere, so we're going to start closing the shop down here in a minute. But great conversation. We should have prefaced this, and I think we might have in a roundabout way. When you're planning your route and all that, please check all the laws of every state that you plan on, even if it's only for a 5-mile jaunt through that state. Every state that you're going to be traveling in, it doesn't take long. Just go and find out what their state gun laws are, who they reciprocate with, are they constitutional carry, what their specific constitutional carry guidelines are. All of that stuff. Do not make yourself, as John says, don't be the case. That's going to take a lot of money and a lot of time.
But if it does go down, GOA's got your back.
Don't you?
GOA's got your back. Maybe.
All right.
If you're a member.
Listen, I get about 5 phone calls a week about things like this from other people. Sure. And I'm like, hold on. Is it constitutional law? Okay, let's see what we can do. If it goes again. Now all we gotta do just do national reciprocity. I think that's what we gotta push for. We just gotta push Congress to do national reciprocity, and then nobody has to worry about it anymore.
So I kind of disagree. I used to be all on the bus of national reciprocity. And the reason why I don't is that forces you to get a concealed carry license. I have one. You have one. Kyle has one. But in order to have national reciprocity, you can carry in all 50 states, you actually have to, it forces the people to get a license, right? Now, if we're going to say national constitutional carry, that's a different thing. But if you're saying national reciprocity, you're going to force people to get a license. What does that do? One, it's probably going to force you to get that done. There's going to be something attached to it that says that you're required by law to receive XYZ training, right? So now you're going to see Bubba John and all these people come out of the woodworks getting their concealed carry instructor's license. And now they're going to charge you about $500 to take that class because they know that you have to take that class in order to get your license, which means in order to have national reciprocity, not only are they forcing you to get a license, they're also forcing you to take classes, and they're going to charge you out the ass for those classes because they know that you have to take them. So I'm all for the theory of national reciprocity. Now I'm just much more, let's just have national constitutional carry. It'll never happen.
We're
reason I say that is no. National reciprocity on the federal level will never happen. That's why I love that we're doing it state by state. Well, that's how it's going to have to work is state by state.
I'm hoping that we get enough constitutional carry states that they have to just go, yeah, it's constitutional carry all the way across the board.
I think that that's what the plan is. If we can get, let's say, 43 of the 50 states to go, in the next 5 years to go, we're already halfway there. We're over half of 27 or 28 states. We're already halfway there. But if we can get to like 40 to 43 states going constitutional carry in the next few years, especially if the Republicans hold the White House and hopefully may even hold Congress and Senate, I think it's a chance that we could get national constitutional carry. But I love the fact that the states about 5 years ago decided to take it upon themselves and say, look, each individual state is going to do constitutional carry. So there's a way to get to national constitutional carry without the feds getting involved.
I think if we get 70%, I think we'll get it. I think we're just over what, 50, 60?
We're 50? About 50, 55%.
55.
I think if we get to 40 states, that's 80%. I think it's a lock, especially depending on what happens this November. If we can get White House, Congress, Senate for the next 4 years, I think it's fine. But like I said, was it 7 years ago, 8 years ago, whenever it was, that we tried the national reciprocity, and I was all for it. And I had a discussion with G-Webs, I believe, one night. It was like 3 a.m. we were talking, and it came up, and he was explaining, he wasn't saying he's against it, but he was explaining to me why the argument against national reciprocity, and he made total sense to me. He said, look, if we go national reciprocity, it means you have to have a license to be reciprocated. So that forces everyone in the country to get a license. So not only is it a tax, but it's also a backwards way of maybe doing some kind of a registry, because they could tie that in. Not only to get your license, not only do you have to take this $500 class, but you have to list what guns you have. Like, there's ways around that. Like, they can put all these different attachments. He said, so forcing someone to have a license to get reciprocity from another state is bad. Plus, now you're going to start probably forcing people to take classes to get the license, which now people know if you have to take this class required by law at the federal level, people are going to start charging $400 or $500 for that class, up to $1,000 for that class, knowing that you have to take this class. You're screwed. You got to pay it. So, I mean, like I said, national reciprocity, I'm not for anymore because of what could happen with the federal government forcing citizens to get a license. We'll see. Hour 37. I know, Kyle, you got to go here in a minute. I want to let you talk real quick about Anderson, what you guys got coming up, anything cool, and obviously goals or whatever, any sales or any cool things you got going on. I'll give you a few minutes to talk all Pony Express stuff.
Yeah, first off, as always, Trey, thanks for having me on the show, man. It's always an honor.
It's always an honor, but wow.
Yeah, but come check us out at Goals booth 1204. We're working on some cool stuff, some discount codes. We're getting we got the physical brochures, but we're getting some digital brochures with QR codes and stuff going on.
Nice.
So we're trying out a lot of new things at Goals. We figured John's little event would be a good experimentation ground, I'm kidding, John.
Little event?
Oh, it's big. No. I take that back. John,
I mean, it's bigger than some.
Yeah. Well, it's the inaugural show. And for being an inaugural show, this thing's freaking huge. Huge, man. But yeah, getting ready to go.
You see Yehuda says, can you stop the podcast? I need John to answer me. Yeah, we'll be done here in the next few minutes. And John can send you the link and you can come on the after chat if you want.
But guys, make sure you come. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to say, or we can just listen to Kyle talk. So yeah.
Yeah. Guys, make sure you go visit AndersonManufacturing.com. Check out the Frontline series. You're looking to get in the building. We're your one-stop shop, man. So come on through and check us out. Social media platforms.
Frontline, the Kiger, the Dissy. Man, we got so much stuff going on right now.
we got some heavy hitters, man, and a lot in the pipes too. So check us out. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, X, at Anderson Manufacturing, except for on X where it's at Anderson Rifles, because someone done got the Anderson Manufacturing tag before we did.
You know what? I'd contact Elon and see if you can get them banned. Just kick them off the platform so you can take their name. I'm
gonna shoot him a text real quick. But other than that, guys, thanks for having me on, and awesome conversation tonight. Wish I had more to contribute, but like I said, I'm a constitutionalist at heart. I don't know if I
understand.
I just appreciate the simpler things. Laws and taxes all complicate stuff. So
it does. I tend to follow the same guidelines.
It's a Marine thing.
I guess.
I thought that was crayons.
I mean, those. There's not 64 of those fuckers in there either more, you know. Oh yeah. I see you. John, we'll give you a few minutes to talk about GOA, and then also if you want to talk about fully loaded reviews, I know you got some stuff coming out with that as well. You had something over the weekend come out, I believe.
Yeah, last week I had we had the EAA Untouchable.
You guys rated. I'm letting people walk, but I was surprised at the rating. Put it that way.
It's highly rated. Maybe. Yeah. Who knows? We'll find out. Go watch it at Fully Loaded Reviews on YouTube. Go check it out. Leave a 5-star review and on all YouTube hosts. Sorry. Yeah, and then we've got.
Are you on Yelp or something? Ask your 5-star. Are you on Yelp?
So that's the podcast signed off for GOA for Stay the Second. Speaking of which, Wednesday is tomorrow. Tomorrow's episode, Pete Brownell himself. Pete Brownell. Go watch that episode on Stay the Second on YouTube. It's a great conversation with Pete talking about the history of Brownells and how everything started, talking about his great.
Did you do that interview or who did the interview with him?
Me and Kaylee.
Oh. Yeah. I would love to see an interview. Maybe you can get it at Goals. Because I know that Brownells is being pretty supportive of Goals. Wouldn't it be awesome to have Eric and Pete sit down and a mic'd up conversation between Eric and Pete? That'd be pretty badass.
Listen, you think that's badass? I'm ready for the panel with Pete and Jamin on it. I want to see how that one sparks up. It's going to be great. Speaking of which, Trey, you're on a panel.
I am on a panel.
You are on a panel. Sorry, Kyle. We just don't.
I'm paying to be on this panel. Apparently, like that's the only way you can let me on one is if I paid you guys to be on a panel.
Wait, you got paid?
No, I said I paid you to be on a panel.
Oh, damn.
If you want to be on a panel, you got to pay the GOA. They'll get you on a panel.
Yehuda's on a panel.
Yeah, but you paid him. He's not. I had to pay your ass to be on a panel.
No, I'm super excited. That panel, Yehuda's panel, hasn't been announced yet, so I'm
super excited
for that panel to come out. But yeah,
diversity panel, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, maybe a friend of ours who does a 2A diversity shoot.
Fantastic. The sexy beast himself. The sexy beast himself.
Pound for pound, the largest firearms trainer in America. Yeah.
Lovatron 2000. He said, I'm a Jew. I did it for free. That's fair. That's so good, Yehuda. I love you. That's so good.
Yehuda
that needs to be on a t-shirt. Yehuda, if that's not a t-shirt when you get to I'm a Jew, I did it for free. That needs to go on everything that you do. That is the greatest thing. A patch, a t-shirt, a hat. I'm a Jew. I did it for free. That's fantastic.
So for those of you, the other thing that I forgot to mention, Yehuda is going to have a spot for him to sell his children's book at Goals. He's got a 10x10 booth with somebody. So go check out Yehuda's children's book and all his books and stuff.
Speaking of Yehuda, real quick, it's one of his oldest books, but it's my favorite of his. If you haven't ever gotten a chance to, go on Amazon, go online, you can find it. Go buy 27 Words. It's the best, in my opinion. It's my favorite book of Yehuda. He's got a lot of great ones out there, but 27 Words is a phenomenal book. Go pick one up. It's worth the read. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
Just have me on a podcast, damn it, is what he said.
There you go.
There we go. Yeah, so I'm super excited about it. Goals August 17th, 18th, Knoxville, Tennessee. Be there, be squared. See Anderson,
baby.
See Anderson Manufacturing.
It's called that or not.
See Aegis Gun Care. See Ed Brown. See Canik. See Canik maybe launching something new. I'm just gonna say, put it out there. There might be some new products going. Maybe
I would imagine. You know what? Being August, it's a perfect time. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of new product launches. August is a great time for product launches because it's kind of starting to get into that fall where business starts kind of picking back up a little bit after the summer drought.
Election's coming up.
The election's coming up. Speaking of which, will there be any maybe surprise guest appearances or something?
Cannot confirm or deny anything yet. Cannot confirm. Can't confirm yet. But
can't confirm, but you're not denying it either.
I'm not denying anything. So, but there will be some politicians there. There's going to be great panels, great times to hang out, talk to people, meet up with Kyle, meet Kyle himself.
Meet the man, the myth, the legend himself.
Maybe get the chance to hold the Pony Express in hand.
Is that what he's calling it now? Oh, he beat the rifle. Okay, yeah.
The rifle. Sorry, my bad.
It's a shotgun.
It's a shotgun.
That's right, shotgun. Yes.
Coach gun.
This is my rifle. This is my gun. This is for fighting. This is for fun.
Take him now.
Take him now. Execute.
So fast.
That was kind of matrixy there. Execute.
So yeah, I'm excited. Maybe Kyle will have the Pony Express, maybe not. Nobody's confirmed or denied this. I'm just saying, like, Anderson may have their launched premiere shotgun at Goals. I'm not saying it will happen, but it may happen.
Nope. No matter what show it is, Anderson's always going to bring that fire. So definitely come.
That's right.
Or the Kiger 10 mil. You know, who knows?
I swear to God, if I see a Kiger 40 Smith & Wesson, I'm going to be supremely disappointed.
Okay, yeah. I'm not talking to Kyle anymore after that.
He's like, oh, shit.
Back to the drawing board, boys.
See you, boys. I got to go real quick.
He's like, all right, guys. We got drill this.
Get rid of that one.
All right, drill this chamber a little bit no, but I'm super excited for Goals. I think it's going to be the premier event of the year. So make sure to go to gunowners.org/goals to pre-register, book your hotel, do all that stuff. Make sure to check out State of the Second tomorrow on all podcasting hosts and everything. That'll be fantastic with Pete Brown now. Also, go check out Fully Loaded Reviews. We've got a ton of new videos coming out, ton of stuff in production. We should have a new one here soon, maybe on a pistol that we did not like at all. Maybe it got chucked through the air. Maybe it saw the sky.
It's finally coming out. That video's finally coming out. Maybe.
Yeah, I think I bumped.
It's only been like what, a few months since you did some filming.
I filmed all of them, like a few. I've got 8 videos that need full production still. They're all done. They just need to be edited. But it may touch the sky. But yeah. Oh my God, Yehuda. Yes, Kyle, you work with Yehuda. I'm done. Good night, everybody.
All right. Thanks for coming on, bud. Guys, go check out AndersonManufacturing.com. If you want to save a few bucks, use code GHOST or FLR. We do not receive a penny from that. It's just there to help you save money. Go ahead and do that. Check out Gunners of America. Go check out Fully Loaded Reviews. That's John and Kurt's YouTube review channel. They're doing great. If you're into the nut and fancy 48-minute videos, you're gonna love this channel.
It was 16 minutes last time. I've cut them down.
I know, but you called it a short. It can't be a short if it's 16 minutes. So
that is a short. Come on now.
For you guys, it is. No, go check them out. They're doing a great job and all of that. For us, yeah, just keep watching our stuff. We really appreciate you guys. We're gonna get a bunch of videos done eventually. It's busy and life, man. I have a full-time job that I work 70 hours a week at, so it is what it is. We try to get everything done. Make sure every Tuesday at 7 Central, 8 Eastern, come check out the Armed Citizen Podcast live. If you're watching this in replay or listening in podcast form, come on. The water's warm. We won't bite. Come join the party on Tuesday nights. Come join the live chat. It's fun. Thank you to everyone out there that is always out there every week. Tuesday. Thank you for everyone doing that. Get to the range. Be more proficient with your firearms. Stay in tune with what's going on in your local, state, and federal with all 2A legislation. Make sure that your elected representatives are doing their jobs. And if they're not, guess what? 2024 is an election year. We can change that shit. We're going to make some things happen really quickly in 2024 elections. Most importantly, enjoy your freedoms of being an American, one of which is to keep and bear arms. We'll see you next week. Semper Fi.